Fabian Picardo said the market economy is largely broken and that the Business Employee Assistance terms, BEAT, are designed to favour anyone who works in Gibraltar's economy. The measures will operate throughout the month of April before being reviewed. The Chief Minister announced a new status was being created in law for employees affected throughout the COVID period. Employees can be deemed inactive by their employers, meaning that they can benefit from the financial assistance. This will be applicable to workers whose employer has experienced a downturn or cessation in business, and who have therefore been sent home without work, but not for those who are still working from home. Fabian Picardo said he expected businesses to take advantage of this and retain their employees, and that no employer will therefore be able to justify any mass layoffs or redundancies. In order to register their employees as inactive, businesses will be required to fill out detailed forms and will receive money to pay their employees. They will not be allowed to retain or deduct any money from the amounts to be paid to employees. Those who are self-employed must fill out the same form as businesses and will receive their monthly payments directly. In order to qualify as a full-timer and receive the £1,155 per month, you must work an average of 7.5 hours a day or more. For part-timers and those on zero-hour contracts, employers will need to detail the average amount of daily hours they have worked from the 1st of January to the 15th of March, which will be used to arrive at the actual payment. The amounts will be paid tax-free and will attract no PAYE or social insurance deductions on the part of the employer, the employee or the self-employed. Social insurance records will be deemed as paid in April, even though it has been waived. Terminations of employment as from the 15th of March will not be allowed, except by specific consent by the Director of Public Employment. The measures will apply to all sectors, with some exemptions. In response to media questions, the Chief Minister said, for example, that the financial services and gaming sectors had agreed to opt out of certain measures, such as the employee subsidy. The Chief Minister said, as for employees, the measures are designed to be able to benefit any registered employee of a business in Gibraltar, regardless of their nationality or place of residence. The Chief Minister announced that a BEAT COVID-19 corporation tax deductible of £50,000 will be introduced as a one-off capital allowance for the current financial year for businesses undergoing expense to adapt their operations to the challenges of the pandemic. He said the encouragement that the government had given landlords to pass on rent waivers is limited to the second quarter in 2020, but added that if the pandemic lasts beyond that, it'll consider whether it's able to help affected landlords themselves. Gaming duty will also be deferred to the end of each quarter, and the government is monitoring the sports-related part of online gaming, which has been affected. The Chief Minister said the system was aimed at protecting jobs, retaining employment, and ensuring employers can fund employees to meet a basic income required to buy the essentials and put food on the table. He said this involved large amounts of public money at a time of need and was targeted exclusively at those who need it most, adding the government will not tolerate any abuse of these measures.
We will only emerge stronger from this difficult moment if we act in solidarity with one another and not by taking advantage or abusing the BEAT COVID measures, because we are all in this together. I have announced many measures today. Please do not abuse them. Do not claim for an inactive employee if that employee can work. If you do, we will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. Whoever you are, we will not tolerate abuse. We will come down on you like a ton of bricks if you do. Do not pretend to be inactive if you can work. If you can pay your employees without our help, please do so for as long as you can. If you can pay your rent, please do so and do not rely on waivers. If you can pay your mortgage, please do so and do not seek a waiver of the mortgage payments. If you can pay your service charges, please do so. This is a moment for communal solidarity.
Fabian Picardo warned the government would need to review the April measures to ensure it can continue to pay the same amount in future. He said if more people claim that the government expects, this would not be possible. calling on people, therefore, to take what they really need and no more.
We're looking at figures that could be in the region of 10, 15, 20, 25 or 30 million pounds a month. We've told the Parliament last week that we'll take a loan, if necessary, of up to £500 million, which is 20% of the GDP of Gibraltar, depending on how many months this goes on for and depending on the number of people that claim. We may or may not be able to continue to pay the amount that we've proposed for the numbers of people that may claim. That's why, looking at the numbers of people that may claim, we may have to reduce the amount that we are paying and look at how long this is going to go on for. This is a key point about prudence, about ensuring that we have firepower. And we don't just need firepower for the calculation that you've done about the number of people that may claim. We need firepower because we're not going to have income in terms of business rates, in terms of all of the other areas where we're giving waivers. So we're giving money out to provide that shield for employees through businesses, and we're failing to take money in as we give a cushion to businesses so that they don't have additional costs. This is going to be an extraordinarily difficult time. That's why our rainy day funds and our ability to borrow directly now that we need to are going to give us the ability to do this. But in the same way as you've heard that there is no health service in the world that can deal with an influx of people in the sorts of numbers that we are seeing in other countries and which we are preparing for here, there is no economy in the world, neither the biggest economy in the world nor the smallest economy in the world, that can continue to give out money to people in its economy who are not productive and who are therefore not producing recurrent income for that economy. That's why we have to understand that any abuse of this will not be tolerated, that the numbers claiming must be reduced to those who are entirely needing of it, and that the period for which we pay it cannot be open-ended. And we need to play with all of those parameters to ensure that we can go on as much as possible. And if more people claim than we expect, we may not be able to pay this amount next month. And if more people pay next month, we will have to reduce even further for the following month.
The Chief Minister also announced he would seek to put in place measures to ensure that no evictions can be carried out in cases where tenants have been unable to pay rent, but asked people to pay rent if possible. He also called on management companies not to take action against those who cannot pay estate service charges, but asked people to pay these charges if they can. Mr. Picardo also warned against profiteering in shops. He said the Office of Fair Trading had been made aware of various businesses profiteering on medical items such as paracetamol and hand sanitizers, adding price controls will be introduced to stop this. There will be a fine of up to £5,000 for profiteering. Following the comment in January that the time had come to end the spirit of entitlement that prevailed in Gibraltar, the Chief Minister agreed that COVID-19 had accelerated the process to ensure this was now over.
Anybody who thinks that they're going to be able to come and put their hand out to claim something that they don't need, something that they want, something that makes it a little bit nicer to feather their nest, those days are over. People now need to have what they need, and they need to wake up quickly. I still see people complaining about not having an additional £400 a month here or there, which they don't need. Those days are over. Wake up and smell the coffee. That's not to my radio now. That's to my fellow Gibraltarians who might think that they're still entitled to claim things which they don't need.
Lockdown is designed to protect life, with the Chief Minister stating that these latest fiscal measures should be seen as a shield that has been placed around working people on the rock.